Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
Cheers for that, Chris. Thank you very much. There's finally our second powertrain upgrade that failed last time out, which was, yeah, little frustrating. It would have been nice to have in Spain, but regardless, we're coming back off of Spain with huge momentum coming into Monaco because we finally got ourselves some points. We got 8th place in the Spanish Grand Prix and we picked up 4 World Championship points. So that upgrade has now opened up the powertrain tree a little bit. We can now go down, which focuses more on fuel efficiency, or we can carry on going left, which is engine power. Now, I personally think I know which way I'm going to go, due to the fact of, I mean, it's what we need. We just need more engine power. And it's interesting because I keep looking at like the upgrades. I'm looking at like how much they're getting us on this bar of like powertrain performance, and I'm like, is not the minor upgrades. As I say, the minor upgrades, they're not much. They're really not much. So, yeah. So I mean, that's something that we need to consider. And obviously Monaco as well. You know, it's not a place where we need to worry about a fresh power unit due to the fact of there's no. I mean, coming out of the tunnel was the fastest point, and even then, it's not about top speed. So we're going to swap over to all of the older parts of the car because we need to keep running those as much as possible. And then we need to jump in to a bit of practice.
This weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. It's a race that is truly steeped in history. But before the drivers turn their attention to winning, they first need to get through today's tricky practice session.
Tricky it will be indeed. Thank you for that, Crofty, as we come through. Anthony Nogues charging towards the line for our track acclimatization. 50 points. Jobs good un. And now we're on the tyre wear test. I love this section. Like, as much as I dislike Monaco because I'm always paranoid about just chucking it into the barrier, I love the final sector of just how much it flows, especially, you know, through the swimming pool, the 2 chicanes you've got there, and then Rascass, Anthony Nogues, power on, DRS open, charging towards the line. It got pretty close in the end, but there it is. Purple tyre wear, purple, 50 points. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then on the fuel saving run, once again, I just can't get purple. Don't know what it is. Cannot get purple everywhere I go, but it's fine. I'll take the 30 points. 30 points is better than no points, so we'll carry that on. Of course, we need to continue getting the resource points so we can keep upgrading this McLaren, because now that I've got some momentum, I'm feeling that we can carry that forwards, hopefully. And there we go. 50 more points from the race program. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Haven't done the qualifying one yet because I decided to save that in qualifying... in practice 2, I decided between practice sessions I would swap out, put all of the new bits back on the engine so I could do the qualifying pace program with a slightly better engine. So that's exactly what we're going to do. It's actually started raining near the end of our lap, but thankfully it didn't affect us too badly as we come through the final corner, power on, charging towards the line. What is it going to be? It is green.
This afternoon's qualifying session, which will be getting underway shortly. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
Silence, apparently, from Anthony Davidson. But, yes, we got 30 points in the qualifying pace program. Here we are. This is our 3rd attempt at a lap through Monaco. This is the last part of it as we nearly hit the wall coming through to back there. Trying to push the car as much as possible, sliding it through the chicane, not having to put any opposite lock on, so it was great. Car through Rascass, went a little bit wider than I intended to, through Anthony Nogues as close to the barrier as physically possible. DRS open, charging towards the line, 4 tenths up on our Delta, and it's 15th. It's 15th in Q1. I mean, granted, it's not quite a 19-second lap that Kevin Magnussen got, so that's bit of a glitch there, and not the first time I've seen it as well. I've seen it in a couple of other YouTubers. I don't know if it's just if that happens in full qualifying or if it happens in short, but yeah, it's almost if it counted his first sector as the whole lap, so that's a bit weird. But we failed our objective apparently once again.
And as the drivers start thinking about getting a good start and how on earth to get through Saint-Devote in one piece, I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, if we might be seeing a safety car or two today.
Well, you wouldn't exactly bet against it, would you? Statistically, it is pretty common, of course. About 80% of all Monaco Grand Prix will have at least one safety car. And that's despite the incredible work of the marshals around here, who you'll often see lifting cars out of the way just under the yellow flag conditions. The teams will always plan for the worst case scenario though, and they'll be making sure various caution periods are built into their strategy models for the race.
No heroics into Sandoval, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
I disagree. I quite fancy some heroic late braking. There's no real strategy at Monaco. It's just ultras to supers. You know, it's the reason we're starting on the ultras is to get involved with the pack. We're actually starting 14th, so quite a lot higher up than where we allegedly qualified. I'm going to assume there's some gearbox penalties being handed out to people. So as we've got Verstappen in 13th and Grosjean behind us, and we were very much slower than them in qualifying. So yeah, I'll take any benefit I can get, really. As we now build 5 lights. Lights are out, and away we go for a race around the Principality. Verstappen pulls across. We're going to go to the inside, as always, see if we can gain any positions down the inside of one of the Williams. God, everyone's crawling back on the power. We're in 11th place. Yellow flags already. And look at the minimap. No one's moved. Strolls across the track. I have no idea what's happened there. We're going to need to have a secondary look at that, but we'll do that in a few minutes' time, as we're now up to 11th place already, sniffing the points. You can see the Mercedes already down the order. Everyone horribly slow going into the Mirabeau. Down the inside of Kevin Magnussen, force him out. He's still there on the way down to the Lowe's hairpin. He's sent an absolute dive bomb of a move down there, and he's gone into Lewis Hamilton, and we're now crawling through. Carbon fibre coming off the Mercedes there. I don't know if Hamilton's now carrying damage, driving erratically. Magnussen tries round the outside of Portier. Into the tunnel we go. Kevin Magnussen going to be trying to take a look at the 3-time world champion. Can he try and make a move? We're going to go into the Nova chicane. 3 wide maybe on the brakes. Oh, that was risky move. More yellow flags. Hamilton and Magnussen have stopped in the middle of the chicane. That was bold. Bold from ourselves there, as we tried to send it down the inside. 3 into 1 most definitely did not go, as we now found ourselves almost in no man's land, as there's a train of cars ahead of us and Hamilton a long way behind us. Someone's already in the pits at the end of lap 1. Not too sure. That's Kimi Räikkönen. So we've got ourselves into 7th place as we now head on towards lap 2. So yeah, still yellow flags as well. There's the debris there at turn 1. Don't want to run over that with my tyre and get a puncture. But let's have a look back now at that opening lap and the incidences that took place. So you can see the lights are coming on here. This is going to be in regards to the Lance Stroll incident. You can see Felipe Massa was 3rd on the grid there. Impressive stuff. But let's have a look at it now as we go towards... So we're down the inside. We come through 3 wide. Oh, the Renault looked to make contact with Stroll there and put him across the track. We're going to need to see that again. So here we are on board now with Lance Stroll, and we're going to see it from his perspective. So yeah, decent-ish start. Keeps up with the pack. Jolyon Palmer gets a fantastic launch for whatever reason. There we are on the inside. No contact made with us at any point. It's Palmer. Palmer has hit the Williams, and it's caused him to block the track, and Stroll does a several million point turn and eventually gets it going again. So here we are now. This is the moment with Magnussen and Hamilton as we go through the tunnel. Magnussen is on Hamilton's inside. We, of course, have got a bit of a deficit to him. There's a Force India behind us. I see an opportunity, stick it right down the inside, and you don't really see the best shot from that camera angle, but I think there was a point where we sort of... Hamilton tried to turn in while I was there, might have bumped into the wall. Magnussen, of course, would have tried to turn in. Magnussen with the hand of rage. I mean, as you would expect, he thought he was overtaking the 3-time world champion. But let's see if on board Hamilton. Yes, he's carrying front wing damage, I can see, the front right. And you can see here there's just enough room for an F1 car. I send it down the inside as Hamilton turned in. I mean, I was already alongside when he turned the wheel, and let's be honest, if it was my fault, the stewards would have given me a penalty. That's all I've got to say. As we come to the end of lap 5, we set our personal best lap of the Grand Prix so far, and we find ourselves catching Danny Kvyat, who we always seem to be running into at some point. I don't know how he's in 6th place, but he is. And he's fighting with Hulkenberg, and who I believe to be Felipe Massa up ahead there. So we're once again chasing after a Renault and a Renault-powered car, and this is now going to be for what's the equivalent of 6th place. We were up behind them there. Now, we have dropped back a little bit when it came to lap 8. We've more fallen into the clutches of Sergio Perez. But the thing is, he has that Mercedes power unit, but he's got no way of using it because the straights here at Monaco aren't particularly long. You know, he's got into Saint-Devote and into the Nouvelle chicane. There's no real points he's going to be able to get through on me. As you can see here, he isn't able quite to get close enough. This is his best run yet into Saint-Devote, and we're just going to cut back underneath him. There we go, up the hill. And that's how we get go through that. Here's a replay of the incident because something interesting to note, which I did think as I saw Perez continue to go sailing through. I'm pretty sure, yep, you can see a puff of dust there. He's made contact with the barrier, so I don't know if that caused him to carry any damage. I mean, he's still behind me, so I would assume not. But lap 14, we've caught back up to Danny Kvyat. This is something I've noticed with a few of the cars. They'll go quick for a period, slow for a period. So I don't know if they're either protecting their engine, protecting their tyres, saving fuel. I don't really know what they're doing. So either way, we're in 6th place. Danny Kvyat is in 5th. One of the cars, I believe that was a Ferrari, has just come out ahead. So the Ferrari has made a pit stop. And he's ahead of us. But we're now very much in contention. Obviously, it's a one-stop strategy. As I said, we're in contention for points again. I don't know how we've done it through. I mean, it was through a bold overtake and getting lucky at the start to not be involved in a huge incident. But as I said last time out, luck favours the bold, or, you know, whatever that saying is. Anyway, fighting with Danny Kvyat, potentially for 4th place. There's a bit of a train forming behind us. But then you could consider the fact that, is Kvyat the start of the train? Because, I mean, we've caught him. Perez is looking pretty close, but he couldn't make a move into the Nouvelle chicane. So now this is lap 16. We're going to be making a pit stop at the end of this lap for our one and only time for the super soft tyres. Danny Kvyat ducks in as well. So hopefully, I mean, we're fairly close. We're certainly not nose to tail. Perez in as well, and one of the Haas drivers. Come on, McLaren. Can we jump anyone in the pits? We come in, fit the super soft. It's a 2.6. And, oh, he's been held. Kvyat was held. Thankfully, Kvyat was held. That was by Magnussen from what I saw as he went past. Hulkenberg's disappeared off into the distance on the super soft tyres. But we have jumped Danny Kvyat in the pit stops now. And we're ahead of him. We come out in 8th place. And you've got to assume there's other cars up the road that haven't made their pit stops. So we could have more positions and more points to gain here. But that was the last of our pit stops. It's now about retaining the position. And as I said, we're now at the end of lap 20, coming on to lap 21. We're now in 6th place. Kvyat not challenging me. In fact, he's dropping back. So I set my sights more on Nico Hulkenberg, who's 5.6 seconds up the road, thinking maybe I could have him. I don't know. You know, you never know until you try. So we're now ahead up the road, through into the chicane now, just about missed the wall. I got myself all flustered and...
You means you've lost one of the gears. Say again, you have lost access to one of the gears.
So we get informed that we've lost access to one of the gears. I don't know which one it is exactly at this point as I come through here because of the high gears. But as we go into Rascasse, we shift down there, you saw it. I've lost 3rd gear. So we don't quite see it as of yet, but that's pretty much halted any momentum I was building towards Nico Hulkenberg. But I got myself flustered in that Nouvelle chicane, and then we got that message. So, you know, and we have to take Saint-Devote in 4th now, which isn't ideal. I do prefer it in 3rd gear. And you're going to see here it's going to affect me. Into Mirabeau, 4th to 2nd. It just jolts the car and makes it completely uncomfortable. And then you get little to no acceleration down towards the Lowe's hairpin. And it's just, it wasn't ideal by any stretch of the imagination. It was still shifting down. The car lurching. We're now 8 seconds behind Hulkenberg. And Kvyat is now back up behind us there. And then without knowledge or any notification whatsoever, as we come through towards Portier, 3rd gear is back. Engineer didn't even mention that it was fixable. So cheers for that. But, you know, I'll take it. 3rd gear has now come back. But I think that means this gearbox is... yeah, it's on its last legs, and annoyingly enough, this is the 2nd gearbox, so it hasn't even done its 6 races that it needs to do. So we're probably looking at a penalty in the future, but, you know, we normally qualify pretty low anyway, so, you know, I'm not really worried too much. Lap 25 now, so I'll let the engineer finish that. We're nearly 45 seconds ahead of Fernando Alonso. That is the contrast of races that we are having, so... yeah, sit rep. We're now getting a bit of a train behind us as I almost need to re-find my pace. And 12.6 seconds Hulkenberg is now ahead. So, Hulkenberg has had a good one. In fact, a good run could be described as Danny Kvyat as he hits me. I'm not too sure what's going on, but Kvyat pushing me. I'm not too sure what happened there. I couldn't get a replay from his perspective, but I don't know. He was pushing me from behind or trying to force me along. Get down the inside for the Massenet, maybe? I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's put us even further behind Hulkenberg. But now there's a yellow flag at the Nova Chicane on lap 29. It's one of the Haas cars by the looks of things. I'm not 100% sure who it is, but loads of debris all over the track that we need to avoid. Thankfully, we didn't drive over any of it, so we shouldn't get a puncture in the final few laps of the race. But as we cross the split, I realise Hulkenberg is now only 7.8 ahead of us, so I don't know if he's maybe had a coming together with one of the Haas cars as he went to lap it, because Ericsson's crawling around as well. Ericsson's coming to the pit, so I don't know what crash was had, if any. But definitely an odd one going on there. Bottas also in the pit, so we're now up to 5th. Bottas, for whatever reason, must be running a 2-stop because he was fitting the ultra soft tyre, and these supers wouldn't have gone to lap 30. So it's been a weird Monaco race, I will say that. It's definitely been an odd Grand Prix as we now come up behind Esteban Ocon to lap him as he moves out the way. And here's a surreal moment. There is Fernando Alonso. We're nearly a lap out. I mean, he pulls into the pit, so we are going to go a complete lap ahead of our teammate around Monaco. It's such a weird moment. And Hulkenberg now only 7.5 ahead of us now. And at this point, I really fancied it, honestly, because he wasn't getting away from me. And I started once again to pull away from the cars behind. Annoyingly, I did have to lift off and let Vettel through on lap 32 because, of course, you know, he is the race leader. I can't ignore the blue flags. But I built a bit of a gap to Kvyat. So once again, the AI, I don't know if it was, you know, across the board or... But they started slowing down once again. And as we come through the final corner on lap 33, you can see we've built quite a gap to Kvyat. And I think I've hit the point where my tyres almost come into that second phase that I've spoke about before. VSC came out as well. Not too sure what the hell that was for, because no one retired. I didn't hear about any crashes or anything. So, but yeah, first VSC of this career mode, because I haven't seen a safety car either. So, you know, maybe there hasn't been an incident severe enough for it. But I figured, yeah, okay, I'll leave that in. We had a VSC. Enabled me to save a little bit more fuel as well, but keep under the delta. Here we go, back into the Lowe's hairpin. So, and we get it completely butchered due to the fact that the VSC once again disrupted the rhythm. But here we go, Hulkenberg, as we start lap 36, and I plough into the barrier, lucky to have no damage, which I quickly double-checked, of course. Hulkenberg is less than 4 seconds up the road to me. We're now on lap 37. I've been hunting him down for the past few laps. The car, in the final few laps of this race, just felt absolutely on rails. And you can see, we saw him there. He's only 2.6 ahead of me. I can see the damn Renault as I continue to close up to it. Kvyat is now 5.5 behind me. I don't know what it is, but this McLaren just came alive. And we now trying to catch him at the end of lap 37 as we head towards lap 38. Bear in mind, this is going to be the final lap of the Grand Prix due to the fact we've been lapped. You see there 1.6 at the start. It's now 1.4 as we come into the middle sector, and this is the sector where we're catching Hulkenberg the most. Look, he's crawling around the Lowe's hairpin. Can we do anything to get ahead of the Renault on the final lap and maybe get 4th place at the Monaco Grand Prix as we go through Portier? I haven't done it too well myself, and he's always going to gain that bit going through the tunnel on the power. He pulls out a bit of a lead, but now through the final sector where we've been absolutely fantastic, fully committed over the curbs. Can we make a bold diving move into Raskas? No, I think better of it. The gap was not there. Can we do anything into Anthony Noakes? No, we can't. Hulkenberg just got on the traction better than us, but I'm not going to be disappointed as we come across the line and it's 5th place.
Podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari. And after this round of the World Championship, Here's how things look in the driver's table. It's a good result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Today, I'm going to give it to the McLaren driver. They demonstrated
See,
very delicate
driver of the day once again. I feel like Max Verstappen out here. I really do, but I reckon if we had one more lap, had one more lap, we could have got Hulkenberg somewhere. I don't know where, but we would have got him if we had one more lap. But I'm not gonna turn away 10 points. You know, once again, we benefited. We made sure not to be in a crash, and we benefited from everyone that was in a crash. Once again, the reputation level goes through. Haas love us by the look of things. We got Haas, Sauber love us. Then we got like Toro Rosso and Force India, even Mercedes fairly interested. So that moves us into 10th in the driver standings, tying Danny Kvyat and Esteban Ocon there. So we're in the top 10. I mean, we're not really going to be threatening anyone too much, but I mean, and McLaren, we've got all 14 points from McLaren as we start looming in on sort of Renault, Haas, Toro Rosso, and we have to keep up this momentum because honestly, it was the biggest breakthrough in Spain that I had felt. I was just so happy after getting points. I just wanted to keep on going. Then came to Monaco and get an even better result. We just need to keep the pace and the momentum going. But guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Of course, leave a like if you did. And once again, continue to comment feedback down below. I do really appreciate all of your comments and all of your responses. So it's Canada up next. Obviously, that is a much more power-heavy circuit than Monaco. So we don't know how we're going to do there. My guess, probably not going to be that competitive. So I might run the older power unit. And we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, just once again, thank you all so very much, and I'll see you next time.